So today we're going to be going over Nightwing's routine. Right, we're going to do 8 exercises, 40 seconds work, 20 seconds rest. This is going to be minimal to no equipment. It's going to go over how to build the exact strength, physique and performance of Nightwing himself, implementing movements that he himself would use to train with. Right, we're not going for a certain amount of reps, we're just going for the time. So you're going to try and do as much as you can in that time limit, try and push yourself, pick whichever progression works best for you. Right, I'd recommend doing this a total of 2 or 3 times, but if you're a beginner, just once or twice will be good enough. So the first exercise we're going to get into is some explosive push-ups. Let's get straight into it and build that Nightwing body. So we're going to come down to the ground. What we're going to do, control the negative, explode upwards. Right, if you need to, do it on your knees, whichever works best for you. Right, we're going to do it for 40 seconds. Let's go. Right, control your breathing. Again, if you need to, drop down to your knees. You're doing great, keep it up. Right, good stuff. Take a breath, grab a drink if needed. Next exercise we're going to get into is going to be some pull-ups. If you need to instead, do some negatives, jumping pull-ups, whichever works best for you. But we're going to get straight into it when we're ready. Again, control your breathing. And again, if you need to, lower the progression. Alright, whichever works best for you. Alright, if you need to stop for a second, shake off your arms, do so. We're just trying to do as many as we can in the time limit. Alright, good stuff. Next up is going to be some dips. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either do it with some parallel bars, or you can do some assisted dips. Grabbing onto the chair, the further out your legs are, the harder it's going to be. You're going to come down till those elbows are about 90 degrees and pushing back up. Alright, let's get straight into it. Alright, we're trying to focus more on lowering with the arms, rather than just pushing our body down with the legs. Again, control that breathing. Really try to squeeze those triceps at the top. Again, we're just going for as many as we can do in 40 seconds. If you need to stop and take a break, by all means do so. Right, over time and over repeating this workout, you'll be able to go for longer and longer without needing a rest. Alright, good stuff. That's that exercise down. We're going to move into the next one now. So, next up is going to be some split squats. So we're not only training the upper body, we're also training the lower body, right? It's just as important. Right, we're going to start on the left leg, then we're going to move on to the right leg. Let's get straight into it. Again, if you need to, lower progressions, but try to push yourself. And if you're not at this level whatsoever, you can do some bodyweight squats. Keep controlling that breathing. Almost there. Alright, good stuff. So that was the split squats with the left leg. We're going to do the exact same thing now, but we're going to do it with the right leg. Again, if you need to, do it on the ground. or do it on a bench. Almost there now, we're around halfway. You're doing great. Again, if you need to take a longer break, by all means do so. This is just a rough guideline. Again, control that breathing. Right, if you lose your stability for a second, it's not a big deal. Just take a second to regain it and jump straight back in when you're ready. Again, if you need to, take a second break, jump straight back in when you're ready. Alright, great work guys. That's the split squats on the right side done with. So next up in Nightwing's routine is going to be some pike push-ups. Now these are going to be vital to building the shoulder strength. As an easier progression instead, you can practice walking into that pike position and then back out. Right, try and control that breathing. Again, pick whichever progression works best for you. If you need to, take a second's break. Right, that is the end of the 40 seconds. Great stuff, team. That one's a bit more of a difficult one. Definitely burns out those shoulders. So next up in Nightwing's routine is going to be some inverted rows. Knees bent, which is going to be a bit easier, or you can extend those legs and do it without them. We're going to get straight into it when you're ready. Right, control that breathing. You're doing great, keep it up. Right, if you need to, lower the progression. Pick whichever one works best for you. Right, and that's us done with the rows. Great stuff, team. So as I said, that's going to help build that back thickness. The next up in Nightwing's routine is going to be the hollow body. This is going to train the exact amount of core strength that he needs to lift up our legs and torso slightly off the ground and hold our arms by the side. Right, if you need to instead, do it with your knees tucked, whichever works best for you. But we're going to get straight into it. Alright, try and control your breathing. You're doing great, keep it up. Really try to push yourself here. If you do need to stop, do take a second, but try to jump straight back into it. Alright, and that's time. Good stuff, team. So that's going to help us build that core strength needed to be Nightwing ourselves. The final exercise now, which is going to be some dead hangs, which is going to help build the grip and forearm strength that Nightwing needs. We're just going to hold on with a tight grip and hold on the whole time. Right, if you need to stop and take a second, by all means do so. But really try to push yourself. Try and control that breathing. Keeping that core engaged. Almost there. Just imagine yourself hanging off a building, right? Bit of extra motivation. Alright, and that is us done. Great job, guys. So that is Nightwing's entire workout routine completed. This is the exact routine that will help build you the body, physique, strength, performance of Nightwing himself. I'd recommend doing this a total of 2 or 3 times, but if you're a complete beginner, just once or twice will be good enough for now. Let me know if there's any other workout routines or superhero routines you would like to see me recreate and do a follow along through. And in order to make sure you never miss any future workout routines or superhero follow alongs, make sure you click that subscribe button, press that notification bell, and like the video. Now, if you are wanting to get into calisthenics and have a bit more of an in-depth program and blueprint, you can click that first link in the description below to check out my workout programs. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.